Dr. Alex Carter was checking his lab equipment when the alarm started screaming across Kepler Station. He dropped his datapad and rushed to the window. Outside in the black void of space, a small silver pod was spinning toward the mining station. Smoke poured from its damaged hull as it crashed into the docking bay with a loud bang that shook the entire station. Alex grabbed his medical kit and ran toward the docking bay. Other miners and workers were already gathering around the strange pod, talking loudly and pointing at the alien writing on its side. The pod was barely big enough for one person and had burn marks all over it. Someone had attacked this ship. "Stand back, everyone," Alex said as he knelt beside the pod. He was the only scientist on the station, which made him the expert on anything unusual. The pod's door was stuck, but Alex could hear something moving inside. Soft crying sounds came from within. He used a crowbar to open the damaged door. Steam hissed out as the pod opened, and Alex saw something that made his heart skip a beat. Inside was a small alien creature, no bigger than a human child. It looked like a mix between a dolphin and a praying mantis, with smooth gray skin and large dark eyes. Crystal patches on its skin glowed with a sad blue light. The alien child looked up at Alex with fear in its eyes. It tried to back away but had nowhere to go in the tiny pod. Alex held up his hands to show he meant no harm. "It's okay," Alex said softly. "I won't hurt you." The child tilted its head, listening to his voice. The crystal patches on its skin began to change from blue to a lighter purple. Alex had never seen an alien before, but he could tell this one was very young and very scared. "Can you understand me?" Alex asked. The child pointed to a small device on its chest. "A translation machine." It pressed a button and spoke in a clicking, whistling language. The device converted its words to English. "Help," the machine said in a flat robot voice. "Mama, need help." Alex's heart went out to the little alien. He could see it was hurt and alone. Behind him he heard the miners talking about capturing it or selling it to traders. Some wanted to study it like a lab animal. Others thought it might be dangerous. "Back off," Alex said firmly to the crowd. "This is a child who needs help, not a thing to sell." He turned back to the alien child and smiled gently. "My name is Alex. What's your name?" The child looked at him for a long moment, then pressed the translator again. "Zix," it said. "My name's Zix." "Nice to meet you, Zix. Can you tell me what happened to your ship?" Zix's crystal patches flashed red with anger and fear. "Bad ships came, fire everywhere. Mama told me run, get in pod. Ship broke. Mama's still there with bad ships," Alex understood. Pirates had attacked Zix's family ship. The child had escaped. But her mother was still captured or worse. No wonder Zix was so scared and alone. "I'm going to help you," Alex promised. He held out his hand slowly, letting Zix decide if she wanted to take it. Zix stared at his hand, then slowly reached out with her own smaller hand. Her skin was warm and slightly rough like a dolphin's. The moment they touched, her crystal patches turned bright gold. Alex had never seen that color before, but somehow he knew it meant happiness and trust. "Come on," Alex said gently. "Let's get you somewhere safe." He helped Zix out of the pod. She was about 4 feet tall and moved in a graceful way that reminded him of a dancer. The other workers stared as Alex led her through the station corridors. Some looked curious, others looked greedy. A few looked afraid. Alex took Zix to his small quarters near the lab. It wasn't much, just a bed, desk, and tiny kitchen, but it was private and safe. Zix looked around with wide eyes, taking in all the human items she had never seen before. "Are you hungry?" Alex asked. Zix nodded. Alex opened his small food storage and pulled out some fruit and vegetables. He wasn't sure what aliens ate, but plants seemed like a safe choice. Zix's eyes lit up when she saw the apples. She ate 3 of them quickly, making happy humming sounds. While Zix ate, Alex studied. Her translator device? It was more advanced than anything humans had built. The technology could learn languages quickly and translate thoughts as well as words. This meant Zix's people were probably much more advanced than humans. "Zix," Alex said carefully. "Your people, are they part of some bigger group? Like a space government?" Zix looked confused for a moment, then understood. Yes, Galactic Alliance, many worlds, many peoples. Mama is commander in Alliance Navy. This was huge news. Humanity had been alone in space for centuries, never meeting other intelligent life. Now Alex learned there was an entire galactic civilization out there, and Zix's mother was a military officer in it. The bad ships that attacked your family, Alex continued. Were they Alliance ships too? No, Zix said, her crystals turning. Dark red again. Pirates, they take things, sell people. Very bad. Alliance hunts them, but they hide good. Alex felt anger rising in his chest. Pirates had attacked a child's family and left her alone and scared. He made a decision that would change his life forever. Zix, I promise I will help you find your mama. But first you need rest and safety. You can stay with me as long as you need. Zix's crystals turned the warmest gold Alex had seen yet. She moved closer to him and gently touched his arm. Through the translator she whispered, Thank you, Alex. You're a good human, very good. That night, Alex made a bed for Zix on his couch. As she slept, her crystals glowed with soft, peaceful colors. Alex sat at his desk, sending messages to Earth and Alliance space, trying to find someone who could help rescue Zix's mother. He had no idea that caring for one scared alien child would soon make him the most important human in the galaxy. 3 days after Zix arrived, massive ships appeared near Kepler Station. Alex had never seen anything so beautiful and powerful. The ships were white and gold, with smooth curves that looked like they were grown rather than built. These were Galactic Alliance vessels, and they had come looking for survivors from the pirate attack. Captain Lisa Hayes beamed down to the station with a small team of Alliance officers. She was human, which surprised Alex. He learned that humans had joined the Alliance 50 years ago, but news traveled slowly to remote mining stations like Kepler. Captain Hayes was tall with short brown hair and kind eyes, but Alex could see the sadness there when she met Zix. Commander Lyra is my friend, Captain Hayes told Alex privately while Zix played with some toys the Alliance team had brought. She's one of the best officers in the fleet. When we found the wreckage of her ship, we feared the worst. Zix says her mother might still be alive, Alex said. The pirates took prisoners? Captain Hayes nodded grimly. We've been tracking this pirate group for months. They capture people and sell them as slaves on the outer worlds. If Lyra is alive, we need to find her quickly. The Alliance team had advanced sensors that could track the pirate ships, but they needed something more. That's when Zix surprised everyone. The little alien girl walked up to Captain Hayes and spoke through her translator. I can help find Mama, Zix said. Velithians feel family across space. Mama is alive, I know which way. Captain Hayes looked doubtful. Zix, sweetheart, space is very big. How can you know? Zix's crystals glowed with determination. She pointed toward a section of space beyond the station. That way. Mama hurts but alive. Far but not too far. The Alliance officers exchanged looks. Alex had learned that different alien species had different abilities. Maybe Velithians really could sense their family members across space. I want to go with you, Alex said suddenly. Everyone turned to look at him. Zix trusts me. She's been through trauma and needs someone she feels safe with? Absolutely not, Captain Hayes said. This is a military operation. You're a civilian? Scientist. But Zix moved to stand next to Alex, her small hand taking his larger one. Her crystals pulsed with bright gold. Alex comes or Zix not help, Alex keeps me safe. Makes fear go away. Captain Hayes studied them both. Alex could see her thinking. Finally, she sighed. Fine, but you follow orders and stay out of danger. The Alliance ship called Meridian was incredible inside. Everything was clean and bright, with technology that seemed like magic to Alex. Zix became more lively as they traveled, her crystals glowing with excitement. She loved showing Alex around the ship and introducing him to the alien crew members. There were tall blue beings called Andromedans who could breathe underwater. Small fuzzy creatures called Nexans who were incredibly smart and could fix any machine. Large rock-like beings called Titans who were gentle giants despite their scary appearance. Alex marveled at how they all worked together as a team. Your species is still new to the Alliance, explained Commander Reek, an Andromedan with gills on his neck. But humans adapt quickly. Very impressive problem solvers. As they traveled deeper into space, Zix's ability to sense her mother became stronger. She could point exactly where they needed to go, even when the ship's sensors found nothing. Alex stayed close to her, noticing how calm she remained when he was nearby. Without him, she became anxious and her crystals flickered with worried colors. Zix responds well to you, observed Dr. Kella, the ship's medical officer. She was a Nexan, with soft purple fur and large golden eyes. Velithians are very empathic. They feel others' emotions strongly. Your presence stabilizes her emotional field. What does that mean? Alex asked. It means you have a rare gift, Dr. Kella explained. Most beings create emotional noise that distresses empathic species. You create emotional calm? Very unusual. And very valuable. They found the pirate base hidden inside a large asteroid in an empty system. The base was built into the rock itself, with docking bays and defensive weapons carved into the surface. Several stolen ships floated nearby, including the remains of Zix's family vessel. Captain Hayes gathered her team for the rescue mission. Intelligence shows about 50 pirates inside, plus unknown number of prisoners. We go in fast and quiet. I want to help, Alex said. No way. You stay on the ship with Zix, but Zix heard them talking. She ran over with tears in her large eyes. Mama very scared, very hurt. Need Zix close or she might die from fear? Dr. Kella checked her scanners and confirmed what Zix said. Commander Lyra's life signs are weak. She's suffering from empathic shock. Without family nearby, she could go into emotional shutdown. Captain Hayes looked frustrated but finally agreed. You stay close to my team. Do exactly what we say. First, sign of trouble, you grab Zix and run. The rescue mission was like nothing Alex had ever experienced. The Alliance soldiers moved through the asteroid base like ghosts, using technology that could bend light and muffle sound. Alex carried Zix. Following behind the main team as they searched for prisoners, they found the prison section deep inside the asteroid. Dozens of beings from many different species were locked in small cells. The pirates had been cruel, giving them barely any food or water. Alex felt sick seeing how these innocent people had been treated. In the last cell, they found Commander Lyra. She was larger than Zix, about 6 feet tall, with the same dolphin-like features but more mature and elegant. Her crystals were dark gray, barely glowing at all. She lay curled in a corner, not responding when the Alliance soldiers opened her cell. Mama! Zix cried out, jumping from Alex's arms. At the sound of her daughter's voice, Lyra's crystals flickered weakly. She opened her dark eyes and saw Zix running toward her. For a moment, hope returned to her face. But then she saw all the soldiers and her crystals flashed with fear and confusion. It's okay, Alex said gently, moving slowly into the cell. We're here to rescue you. I'm Alex. I've been taking care of Zix. Lyra looked at him with suspicion, but Zix grabbed her mother's hand and placed it on Alex's arm. This is Alex, Mama. He saved me. He's good human. Very good. The moment Lyra touched Alex, something amazing happened. Her crystals began to glow brighter, changing from gray to soft blue. Alex felt a strange, tingling sensation, as if some kind of energy was flowing between them. Impossible, Dr. Kella whispered, watching her scanners. Her emotional field is stabilizing instantly. But there was no time to study this strange connection. Alarms began blaring through the asteroid base. The pirates had discovered the rescue mission. Captain Hayes grabbed her radio. All teams were compromised. Fight your way out. What followed was a running battle through the asteroid tunnels. The Alliance soldiers were better trained and equipped, but the pirates knew their base better. Laser fire lit up the dark corridors. As both sides fought fiercely, Alex found himself protecting both Zix and her weakened mother as they moved toward the escape route. When a group of pirates tried to block their path, Alex surprised everyone by thinking of a solution the trained soldiers hadn't considered. The oxygen recycling system, he shouted to Captain Hayes. If we overload it in Section C, it will create a gas leak that forces them to evacuate. How do you know that? She shouted back while firing at enemies. I'm an engineer, Alex replied, already working on a wall panel. All life support systems have the same basic design. His plan worked perfectly. The pirates abandoned Section C to avoid the toxic gas, giving the rescue team a clear path to their ship. As they escaped, Alex helped carry Commander Lyra. Noticing how her condition improved the longer she stayed close to him, they made it back to the Meridian, just as Alliance reinforcements arrived to capture the remaining pirates. In the medical bay, Dr. Kella examined the rescued prisoners while Alex sat with Zix and her mother. You saved us, Commander Lyra said to Alex through her translator. Her voice was weak but grateful. Zix chose well when she trusted you. Zix beamed with pride, her crystals glowing bright gold. I told you Alex was perfect, Mama. He makes the scared feelings go away. As they traveled back toward Alliance space, Alex began to understand that this rescue mission had changed his life forever. He was no longer just a mining station scientist. He had become something much more important, though he didn't yet realize exactly what that would mean. The Alliance medical station was like a small city floating in space. Alex had never seen anything so advanced, with gardens growing inside glass domes and waterfalls flowing through the main corridors. Different species walked together peacefully, all working to help the rescued prisoners recover from their terrible experience. Commander, Lyra was given the best medical care available, but her recovery was slow. Dr. Kella explained that empathic shock was not just physical damage but emotional trauma that affected the mind and spirit. Lyra had felt the fear and pain of every prisoner on that pirate base, and the experience had nearly destroyed her ability to control her own emotions. Most Velithians would need months of treatment, Dr. Kella told Alex as they watched Lyra sleep in the medical bay. But she recovers faster when you or Zix are nearby. Your presence creates an emotional shield that protects her from outside feelings. Alex spent his days learning about Velithian culture while caring for both Zix and her mother. He discovered that Velithians were natural empaths who could feel the emotions of everyone around them. This made them excellent diplomats and healers, but it also made them vulnerable to emotional overload. We mate for life, Lyra explained one day as she felt strong enough to talk. When my bondmate died in battle 3 years ago, I thought I would never feel emotional peace again. Raising Zix alone has been very difficult. Alex noticed how Lyra's crystals glowed different colors when she talked about her past. Deep blue for sadness, dark red for anger, and soft purple when she looked at Zix with love. But when she looked at Alex, her crystals showed colors he had never seen before, warm golden yellows and bright silvery whites. What do those colors mean? He asked Dr. Kayla privately. The small Nexan scientist checked her notes carefully before answering. Golden yellow indicates deep trust and emotional comfort. Silver white is more unusual. It suggests the beginning of bond formation. Bond formation. Romantic attachment that could lead to permanent mating. Very rare for Velithians to bond with other species. In fact, I have never seen it happen before. This news made Alex uncomfortable. He cared deeply for both Zix and Lyra, but he had never considered the possibility of a romantic relationship with an alien. The idea seemed impossible and complicated. Meanwhile, Zix was thriving under Alex's continued care. Her crystals stayed bright and happy most of the time, and she loved exploring the medical station with him. She was curious about everything human, asking endless questions about Earth and human customs. Do human children have two parents like Velithians? She asked one day as they walked through the station's gardens. Usually yes, Alex replied. A mother and father who love each other and take care of their children together. Mama has no bondmate anymore, Zix said thoughtfully. I have no father. Makes both of us sad sometimes. Alex could see where this conversation was leading, but before he could respond, Zix continued with the innocent directness that only children possess. You make Mama's sadness go away. You make my fear go away. Maybe you could be Velithian family. Zix, it's not that simple, Alex tried to explain. I'm human. You and your mother are Velithian. We're very different species, but different can be good, Zix argued. Alliance has many different peoples working together. Why not families? Dr. Kella had been listening to their conversation and joined them on a bench near a fountain. Actually, Zix raises an interesting point. We've been studying your interactions with Lyra and Zix. Alex, your brain produces neurotransmitters that naturally counteract empathic overload. This makes you almost perfectly compatible with empathic species. What does that mean exactly? Alex asked. It means you could have relationships with empathic aliens that would be healthier than most relationships within their own species. Your natural emotional stability would protect them from the empathic storms that often destroy their marriages. This scientific explanation made Alex think about his feelings differently. He had to admit that he cared deeply for both Zix and Lyra. Zix had become like a daughter to him, and Lyra had become something more complicated. When she smiled, he felt happy. When she was in pain, he wanted to protect her. When she looked at him with those large, dark eyes, something stirred in his chest that he had never felt before. Over the following weeks, Alex and Lyra spent more time together as her strength returned. She taught him about Velithian history and customs while he shared stories about human culture. They discovered they had similar values about family, honor, and protecting those who could not protect themselves. Your species is remarkable, Lyra told him one evening as they watched the stars through the station's observation deck. Humans adapt to any situation. You learn quickly, solve problems creatively, and form emotional bonds across any barrier. Your species is pretty amazing too, Alex replied. The way you can sense emotions and help others heal is like magic to humans. They stood close together, and Alex noticed that Lyra's crystals were glowing with those warm golden colors again. Without thinking, he reached out and gently touched one of the crystal patches on her arm. It felt warm and smooth, and it pulsed brighter at his touch. Lyra caught her breath. Alex, when you touch my crystals, I can feel your emotions directly. Right now you feel protective and caring, but also confused and uncertain. I am confused, Alex admitted. I care about you and Zix more than I've ever cared about anyone, but I don't know if what I'm feeling is right or possible. In Velithian culture, emotional truth is the only truth that matters, Lyra said softly. If your feelings are genuine, then they are right, regardless of what others might think. Before Alex could respond, Zix came running onto the observation deck, excited about something she had learned in the station school. Alex, she called out, her crystals blazing with happiness. I learned about human families today. Did you know human fathers adopt children who are not born to them? They choose to love children and make them part of their family? Yes. That's true, Alex said, smiling at her enthusiasm. Could you adopt me? Zix asked with the directness that always surprised adults. Could you choose to be my father? Alex felt his heart skip a beat. The question was so simple and innocent, but it carried enormous implications. He looked at Lyra, whose crystals were now pulsing with silver and gold light. Zix, Lyra said. Gently, that would mean Alex would have to become part of our family permanently. He has his own life and his own people to consider. But he likes us, Zix protested. And we like him. And he makes us both feel safe and happy. Isn't that what families are supposed to do? Alex knelt down to Zix's level and took her small hands in his. Zix, becoming a family is a very big decision. It means staying together forever, taking care of each other no matter what happens. I know, Zix said seriously. I want that. Do you want that? Alex looked into her large dark eyes, then up at Lyra, who was waiting for his answer. He realized that somewhere during their time together, these two aliens had become the most important beings in his life. The thought of leaving them and returning to his old life felt wrong and empty. Yes, he said quietly. I think I do want that. Zix threw her arms around Alex's neck, her crystals exploding with joy. Over her shoulder, Alex saw Lyra watching them with tears in her eyes and crystals glowing brighter than he had ever seen them. Then it's settled, Zix announced happily. Now I just need to convince Mama to marry you so we can be a proper family. Both. Adults stared at the 8-year-old Velithian in shock. Zix looked back at them innocently, as if she had just solved the most obvious problem in the galaxy. The message from Earth Command arrived on a Tuesday morning. Alex was having breakfast with Zix and Lara when Captain Hayes delivered the official order personally. His hands shook slightly as he read the formal document requesting his immediate return to Earth for debriefing about first contact protocols. How long would you be gone? Lara asked, though her crystals had already turned dark blue with sadness. The message doesn't say, Alex replied. Could be weeks, could be months. They want to study everything I learned about alien cultures and psychology. Zix, who had been quietly eating her fruit, suddenly looked up with panic in her large eyes. You can't leave. You promised to be my father. I'm not leaving forever, Zix, just for a while. But Zix's crystals began flashing red with distress. Dr. Kella had warned Alex that Velithian children could have severe emotional reactions to abandonment, especially after trauma. Zix had already lost her father and nearly lost her mother. The idea of losing Alex too was overwhelming for her young mind. No, 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 Zix cried, her crystals now pulsing with chaotic colors. You can't go. Bad things happen when people go away. Ships break, pirates come, families die. Alex tried to comfort her. But Zix's empathic distress was so strong that other sensitive species on the station began to feel it too. Several Andromedan children started crying in their quarters 3 levels away. A group of Nexan researchers had to stop their work because they couldn't concentrate through Zix's emotional broadcast. This is becoming a station-wide emergency, Dr. Keller reported as she arrived with sedatives. Zix's empathic field is affecting everyone. We need to calm her down immediately. But nothing worked. Zix was too upset to listen to reason, and her distress kept growing stronger. Lyra tried to soothe her daughter, but even her own crystals were flickering with sympathetic anguish. The medical staff prepared to move all empathic species to shielded areas of the station. That's when Zix did something that shocked everyone. She stopped crying suddenly, wiped her eyes, and walked to the station's main communication console. With the determination of someone much older, she accessed the general broadcast system that reached every department and every ship in the local system. Attention everyone, Zix announced through her translator, her young voice echoing through the entire station. My name is Zix, daughter of Commander Lara. I have important thing to say. Alex tried to stop her, but Zix held up her hand with surprising authority. Her crystals had changed to bright silver, the color Velithians used for formal declarations. Alex Carter of Earth is perfect bondmate for my mother, Zix continued with ceremonial precision. He brings emotional peace to our family. He makes fear go away and sadness become joy. He protects without violence and loves without condition. Everyone on the station was listening now. Captain Hayes tried to cut the transmission, but Dr. Kella stopped her. This is a formal Velithian declaration, she whispered. Interrupting it would be a serious diplomatic insult. Zix continued her announcement with the careful pronunciation she used for very important things. By rights of family bond and emotional truth, I request Alex Carter consider permanent mating with Commander Lara. This would make him my chosen father and bring healing to our damaged family unit. The transmission ended, leaving stunned silence throughout the station. Alex felt his face burning with embarrassment, but when he looked at Lyra, he saw her crystals glowing with amazement and something that looked like hope. Did she just propose? Marriage for me, Alex asked weakly. In Velithian culture, family members can make formal bonding requests on behalf of each other, Dr. Kella explained. It's usually done by parents for their children, but the reverse is also legal. Within an hour, Alex found himself in Captain Hayes' office facing a video conference with Alliance officials from 6 different species. Zix's broadcast had reached not just the local system, but had been picked up by communication relays throughout Alliance space. The little Velithian's marriage proposal had become a diplomatic incident. Mr. Carter, said Admiral Chun, a stern human woman on the main screen, are you aware that interspecies bonding between humans and Velithians has never been attempted? Before I am now, Alex replied honestly. The political implications are enormous, added Counselor Vrex, a tall blue Andromedan. If this bonding is successful, it could change human-alien relations throughout the galaxy. And if it fails, said Minister Kola, a rocky titan with a deep voice, it could set back interspecies cooperation for decades. Alex felt overwhelmed by the pressure, but then he noticed Zix sitting quietly in the corner of the office. Her crystals had turned gray with worry, and she looked very small and scared. This wasn't about politics or diplomacy to her. This was about keeping her family together. With respect to everyone here, Alex said firmly, this should be a personal decision, not a political one. Zix isn't asking for a treaty between our species. She's asking for someone to love her and her mother. But the precedent, Admiral, Shun argued. Sometimes the best precedents come from following your heart instead of following procedures, Alex replied. Isn't that what makes humanity special in the Alliance? Our ability to adapt and connect with others. There was silence on the communication screens as the officials considered his words. Finally, Ambassador Tal, an elderly Nexan with wise golden eyes, spoke up. The child has made her request according to proper Velithian law. Commander Lyra is a respected officer whose service record is beyond question. Mr. Carter has demonstrated remarkable compatibility with empathic species. Perhaps we should let them decide their own fate. The debate continued for hours, but eventually the Alliance officials agreed to allow Alex to make his choice freely. They would postpone his return to Earth and study the results of any bonding that might occur. That evening, Alex walked to the station's gardens where Lyra was sitting alone by the fountain. Her crystals were dim, barely glowing at all. I'm sorry about what Zix did today, she said without looking at him. She's just a child who wants her family to stay together. Don't apologize, Alex said, sitting beside her. She was brave to speak up for what she believes in. But now you're trapped. The whole galaxy is watching to see what you decide. That's not fair to you. Alex took Lyra's hand gently, noticing how her crystals brightened at his touch. Lyra, if there were no politics, no pressure from either of our governments, no one watching us at all, what would you want? She looked at him with those large, dark eyes that had captivated him from the beginning. I would want you to stay. I would want us to try building a life together. I would want Zix to have the father she deserves. Then that's all that matters, Alex said. Politics and precedents can sort themselves out. I care about you and Zix more than anything else in the galaxy. Lyra's crystals began glowing brighter than Alex had ever seen them, pulsing with silver and gold light that seemed to dance across her skin. Are you sure? She whispered. Bonding with a Velithian is permanent, we mate for life? Alex thought about his old life on the mining station, working alone and dreaming of adventure among the stars. Then he thought about Zix's laughter and Lyra's gentle smile and the way they made him feel like he belonged somewhere important. I've never been more sure of anything, he said the next morning. Zix found them having breakfast together, holding hands and making quiet plans for their future. The little Velithian's crystals exploded with joy when they told her Alex had decided to stay. I knew it, she said happily, dancing around the table. I knew you were perfect for each other. Now we can be a real family. Alex laughed and picked her up, spinning her around while she giggled. Over her head, he met Lyra's eyes and saw his own happiness reflected in her glowing crystals. 8-year-old Zix had just changed the course of galactic history, but all she cared about was that her family was finally complete.